everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Heather, and in today's video I'm going to be going over my first ever craft show and letting you know how it went and everything that I sold. And at the end of the video I will also let you know how much money I made. So yeah, let's just jump right on in. So this craft show was on a Saturday, and I was able to set up for it on Friday, which is really nice because I actually took a really long time to set up. So I'm glad I was able to do that because I feel like I would have been really rushed and stressed if I did it on Saturday morning. My sister went with me to help me bring the tables because I couldn't carry them by myself because they're really heavy, and it was also a really long ways from the car to where my booth was. So she helped me bring in the tables and a couple of other loads, and then I brought everything else in by myself and set it all up by myself because she had to go somewhere. And I'm really glad that she was able to come help me bring that stuff in. And I think it took me like an hour and a half to set up on Friday night, and I was like one of the last people there. And so I was gonna like walk around and like, kind of look at everyone's booth because I feel like on Saturday I wasn't gonna have time to do that, and I do kind of like to look around, but it was like deserted and I was like, I think I should probably leave. So I did. But on Saturday my mom was with me, so she helped watch my booth and I was able to walk around and look at everyone else's stuff they were selling. So I'm really glad that I was able to do that, and she was with me to help me because I could not have done that by myself, because if I needed to leave to like go to the bathroom, eat my lunch, then I wouldn't have been able to like just leave my booth unattended. So I'm glad she was able to come and help me and help take some sales and stuff when there was like a lot of people. And on Friday it took me a long time to set up because I didn't have everything priced there. Most of it was priced, but there were a few things that weren't set to do that. And then I was just trying to figure out my display and how I wanted to set up, since I hadn't really done the full display yet with everything. So yeah, but I did get it all done and set up. And the craft show on Saturday was from 9 to 3. So I got there a little after 8. I think it might have even been like 8:30. So yeah, I think it was like around 8:30 that I got there, and I ended up making my booth feedback within the first hour. So by 10 o'clock I had made my booth feedback, so that was really exciting because I knew from there on it would just be profits and I wasn't going to lose out on any money. And it was pretty busy the whole time. I knew this event was really well attended because I've been there before as a customer, and so I knew it was going to be well attended, but I didn't like know how it was going to go in terms of like how much I was going to sell. So I was happy with how it went, and I think I got in at a good time because they were kind of like redoing things, and someone else was like taking over being in charge of the event, and they expanded it a lot. So they added a lot more vendors, and like before it was in 2 gyms and then a little bit of the hallways, and now they like extended it out into more of the hallways. It was in a school, so I got in at a good time because I don't know if I would have got in before because it was like a lot of the same people coming back year after year. I don't know how many like openings they had, so I'm glad that I applied when I did. Alright, so now I'm going to go over everything that sold. So I have this notebook here with me, and I wrote down everything nice and neat for each item and how many of each item I sold. So I did write everything down as it sold, but that was like on like a different notebook. So I wrote it all down nice and neat on here, and going forward every time I do a craft show I'm going to add it to this notebook, so I have like a big list of everything that I've sold. So anyway, the first most popular item that I sold were my tiny turtles, and I sold 10 of them, so I sold out of those completely. And as I'm talking, I'm going to try to pop up pictures of what I'm talking about on the screen so that you can see. I think I have pictures of most everything, but sorry in advance if I don't have a picture of something that I'm talking about, but I feel like that shouldn't be a problem, but hopefully I have pictures. So anyway, my first most popular item were my tiny turtles. So I did sell out of those. And then the next most popular item were my little chubby frogs, and I sold 7 of them, and a lot of people really loved these, and I had lots of comments about them, people saying how cute they were, so this is definitely another good seller. And then I sold 3 of my bees. I sold 2 of my little octos, and I also sold 2 of my cats. These are just small little kitties that I had made. I sold 2 of my possums. This was also another item that a lot of people commented on and a lot of people loved. So definitely will be making more of those going forward. Then I also sold 2 dolphins. I only brought 2 of them, so I sold out of those. And I sold 2 of my standing cows. I don't remember the colors that I sold. I think I sold the purple one and the blue one, I want to say. But I did make a purple one, blue one, and then like a normal colored cow. And I think I sold the purple and the blue one, but I could be wrong about that. And then I sold 2 of my fruit snails, and I sold the strawberry one and the apple one. And I feel like those are definitely going to be the 2 most popular ones. These are the cutest in my opinion. The strawberry is just really cute, and then the apple I feel like makes a good like teacher gift. The other fruit snails I probably won't really sell too often, but I kind of like just want to make them all, to have them all together. I think they're cute. So anyway, I sold 2 of the fruit snails, and then I sold 1 of my otters. I sold 1 chicken and egg. This was another item that a lot of people commented on and loved. They really liked that the chick could come out of the egg and it was like an interactive toy. And then I sold 1 little dino, and I was happy to sell that because I was trying to get rid of it. And I also sold 1 seahorse keychain. I didn't have very many keychains because I didn't like make more of them. I just had what was left over from the last time I sold my stuff, and so I didn't have too many, but I did sell that one. I also sold 2 of my little tiny owl keychains, so I sold 2 of those keychains, and that was another thing that I was trying to get rid of, like those keychains, because they're just like random leftovers I don't think I'm going to make moving forward. I made those 2 owl keychains because I did an event. It wasn't like a craft show, it was just like a little like pop-up event thing that they had a couple vendors, and the theme of the event was owls, and so the lady asked if I could make like some owl keychains or something. She thought they would sell really well, so I made a couple of them last minute, and then I didn't end up selling a single one at that event. So I still had 2 of those left from that time, and I did sell both of them, so I got rid of those. So the next thing on the list was my reindeer that I sold with a little red scarf. So I sold him. I also sold this owl that I was trying to get rid of as well because I don't think I'm going to make another one, so I just wanted to get rid of it. So I finally sold that. I was happy about that. I sold 1 of my Care Bears, and I was hoping to sell some more of them because I don't think I'm going to make any more going forward because they take like really long time to make, and I don't really like making them that much because it's a lot of like sewing and stuff. So I did sell 1 of them, and hopefully I'll sell the rest of them soon so I can get them out of my inventory. I sold 1 of my Tiana turtles, and I was actually really surprised that I didn't sell more than 1 because I feel like previously, like when I sold my stuff, like they sold pretty well because it was like a good price for what you get. I feel like you get a pretty good size plushie for the amount I sell it for, but yeah, I only sold 1 of them, which is kind of surprising. And then the last 2 items I have were items that I threw in last minute. I was actually not planning on selling either of these, but my mom's like, oh, you should just put them in, see if they sell. And I was like, okay. And they were like my largest items that I had there, my big ticket items. So I didn't know if they would sell because I had, you know, them priced pretty high, but I ended up selling both of them. So it was very surprising. But anyway, so I sold my jumbo turtle, and I sold him for $50. That was my most expensive thing. And then I also sold my big horse as well. And both of those items together covered my booth fee, so I was glad that I threw them in last minute. And actually, I didn't even mention my booth fee yet. So my booth fee was $90. And so it was kind of expensive for my first craft show, especially not knowing how it was going to go. But I took the risk and it paid off. So I'm glad that I did it. And in total, I sold 44 plushies. And now for how much I made. So in total, I had $640 worth of sales, and that's not including any of my fees or anything. So like I said, I had the $90 booth fee, and then they also had an option where you could purchase some little like boxed lunches that they had made. And so I did purchase 2 of those, and so that was another $20, one for my mom and I. They're just $10 each. I didn't think that was a bad price for like a lunch. So yeah, so basically if you include that with my booth fee, then it was $110 for that. And then that's also not including like any of my costs for supplies like yarn, stuffing, eyes, all that kind of stuff. So if you include all the costs for the booth fee, the lunch, supplies, I probably made around maybe $500 or so, maybe a little less than 500. I don't know. I really should probably calculate how much I use in supplies, but I don't. So, yeah. I did kind of do that at one point. I made an Excel sheet and I weighed all of my plushies and then calculated how much time it took and how much I used in supplies to get the price. And I did that when I first started making stuff, but then I kind of stopped. So I probably should do that going forward so that I have more of a clear cut like cost for supplies and things. I do keep track of everything that I buy though, so I could keep track of it that way, I guess, and just subtract the total amount I bought in supplies like for yarn and all that from like how much I make by the end of the year. I feel like that would be easier. I mean, I know you don't use all of the yarn that you buy in the year, but it's just, I don't like having to weigh everything and calculate it all. It's just too many steps. And then if you have like a bunch of different plushies, you know, you're not making the same item over and over, then you're having to do that like multiple times, and it's just a lot of extra steps and work. So I think I like this second option better, where I just calculate how much I spend in a year on supplies and then subtract that from how much I make. I did sell $640 worth of plushies, and then my booth fee was $90, and then I had the $20 lunch fee, and my cost of supplies is, honestly, I have no idea. So anyway, I don't know the exact amount of like profit I made, but I know how much I sold. And I think I did really well for it being my first craft show. And there were a lot of other crocheters there. There were like 10 to 12 other crocheters, which was quite a lot. And I do think that affected my sales, because there were several people who were like, oh, I totally would buy something, but I already bought a crochet item from someone else. And then there was other people just commenting in general about how many crocheters there were there. So I feel like that's something to mention, because there were quite a lot of us. And I'm all about like supporting other crocheters and everything, like the more the merrier, but at the same time, you can't have too many, because then it's going to really take away from everyone's sales. So I do understand why some craft shows limit how many vendors they have per category. So it makes sense now that I like experienced that, with there being so many people selling the same thing. But also everyone's style is different. Like if you went around to all the booths, like everyone has different items. I mean, sure, there are a lot of the same things that like everyone sells, but everyone's style is different. They use different yarn and things like that. So I feel like it was good, but I did want to mention that. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have to say about that. But overall, I think it went really well for it being my first craft show. And I did kind of want to talk about the display a little bit as well. So I think I might change some things up a little bit for my next one because I had two wood crates on both sides of the table and then like this like shelf thing in the middle, but then all the other plushies were just kind of laid out on the table. They were grouped together by like categories, like all the chickens are together, the mallard ducks, the dolphins, etc., but they were just like all laying on the table. So going forward, I kind of want to do some more displays and like have things off the table so they're not just all like laying out, because I feel like it was a little bit too overwhelming for people because there were so many options and everything was just laid out on the table. So yeah, I think I'm gonna might do something different for my display next time. I did take a video of my setup, so I'm going to insert that now so you can see what I'm talking about and see everything set up and everything that I sold and everything. So yeah, I will insert that clip here. So yeah, that was my setup. Hopefully that helped you visualize what I'm talking about and also show you like everything that I brought with me to sell. And overall, I was pretty happy with how it went, and I'm excited for the next craft show that I do. And I have some ideas already about how I want to change things as far as my setup and my inventory. There's a lot of things that I want to get rid of in my inventory, and I want to make like new stuff, but I kind of need to get rid of old first. So it's just going to be kind of a learn as you go process because I am new to this, so I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm figuring out as I go and documenting the process. So if you are new to doing craft shows and selling your plushies and things like that, then you can learn along with me because I don't really know what I'm doing, but we're doing our best. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!